Hi, everybody. It's your boy TY checking in from Stone Muscle. And I'd like to talk about the year 1987, the year that I came home from Glen Mills. The day that I came home, I was, it was May 1st, 1987. And that was the day that it was prom night for my girlfriend. My girlfriend was a beautiful young lady who could cook, who taught me how to kiss. And well, actually, my cousin taught me how to kiss. I'm going to talk about that another time. I don't know if you ever heard about kissing cousins, but my cousin, Charmaine, was that one who actually taught me how to kiss. 1987 was the year that I came home, May 1st of 1987. And at that time, it was in Philadelphia. If you grew up in Philadelphia, you knew that it was a year of glamour, a year of expensive cars, a year of showing out and seeing people, guys your age, who are making a lot of money, driving fancy cars, and doing things they weren't supposed to. When I came home May 1st of 1987, I think I had drove down Broad Street of Philadelphia. Maybe it might have been a week after that, because I always had my license. I think I got my license at 16 years old. Um, it was one of those tests that was easy for me. I passed it. I passed the driving test with flying colors, and I was able to drive. So when I went to Philadelphia, driving down Broad Street, if everybody knows Broad Street, it was probably like Hollywood and Vine to those people on the West Coast. Guys were driving up and down Broad Street in Mercedes Benzes, BMWs, McLaren Ford Mustangs at 20 years old, 21 years old. It was a glamour period. And I fed into that. I fed into that lifestyle so much to where though I felt like I could do the same thing these guys were doing. And it wound up being a bad thing because I wound up getting locked up in a penitentiary and being surrounded by people, gentlemen. I guess they weren't, I guess you wouldn't call them gentlemen, but men who were on the other side of the law. And 1987 was when I was released. 1990 is when I started doing a state penitentiary bid. So this video actually should be called The Penitentiary. But let me talk about 1987 because 1987 changed my life forever. If I would have not been so enthused by what was going on out in the streets of Philadelphia and could have just listened to my parents, my counselors, and my teachers, then I wouldn't have got wrapped up into that lifestyle of doing what I did to put myself there. I don't want to glorify it. I don't want to talk about it anymore as far as what I did to get there. Because if you look at my videos, I've told you before that I never did anything to where as though I thought would put me in a situation to where as though I'd be locked away from my family. But had I not been locked away from my family at that time, 1987, I would have wound up being a drug addict on another level. And what I mean by another level is doing anything it would take to get put in that situation. Young ladies, young men, let me tell you that being locked away in a penitentiary at 20 years old, 21 years old is not fun, because at that time, you're supposed to be enjoying the best years of your life. Going to a bar, hanging with friends, drinking a little bit of beer, drinking a little bit of wine, taking a couple shots, and then taking your butt home. But instead, I end up being put in a situation where I was locked away from my family. So the bottom line to me making this video, these live streams, are to tell people out there, the young men and women, do not get enthused or sucked in to the life of crime. Because when I drove down Broad Street that day in my car and seen those guys driving the Mercedes Benzes and BMWs and Ford Mustangs, it changed my life forever. So try to steer away from the life of crime. Don't get sucked into, don't be peer pressure into doing something that is going to wind up putting you away for a long period of time. And thank God that I was never the type to do something to hurt people, to where as though I would be doing 5, 6, 7, 10 years. My sentences were always a year, 15 months, 13 months, 14 months. And to tell you the truth, that was long enough. But you would have never thought it was long enough for me, because when I came home, I would wind up doing the same thing that put me back in there. Listen to your parents. Listen to your counselors. Listen to your uncles and aunts who have been down the same road that you have been through, down, or going to go down, and listen to them, because there was no fun at all in being locked away, being locked up in a penitentiary, and not being able to do what normal 20 and 21-year-olds do. Waking up 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, going to your refrigerator, pulling out a snack, some cookies, some milk, and thinking about what you're going to do the next day. Or should I say, going to work the next day, which is what you were supposed to be doing at that age, or going to college. So take my advice, and please, I'm begging you, don't listen, don't follow your peers, your friends who are going to think about, or who are doing bad, committing criminal acts, doing something that's going to wind up putting you away for a period of time that you're away from your family. Okay? So The year 1987, like I said, was the year that I came home from doing 13 months in Glen Mills schools. And had it not been for Glen Mills, like I said, I would have been, well, I would have wind up in a worse situation than I am now. So, to all the counselors and the teachers in Glen Mills, I want to say thank you for pulling me aside and saying that you're really not like the rest of these guys. You're in here for skipping school and smoking marijuana in the bathroom. But if you keep going down this direction, if you keep on this same path that you're on, it's going to wind up putting you in a situation that's going to make you do some time, 10, 15 years that you never thought would ever, would ever imagine. Okay. So I'll be talking about this some more. And, and I want to say that thank you for listening to my stories. Hit the like and subscribe button, because remember that. Hit the like and subscribe button, because there's going to be more videos coming to you talking about my lifestyle and how it could have been much different than what it is, or what it was, or what I came from. Okay? So I'm going to check out with this. This is Stone Muscle, TY, and I'm going to say peace and love, and take care of yourself.